Hi, friends. So Julian just explained to you how to create a pre-test using Google Forms and also how to look at most common word instruction daily for your students. I want to talk to you about the post-test. And in the post-test, we're going to use the Google form as well. You would create it the same way you created the pre-test. So I'm going to share with you, let you see the results. So when we create it, we're going to see our total points right here. So this test was worth 54 points. Then we're going to see our questions and responses. So if we just glance through the questions, just so you can see what a full test would look like and not the pre-test, we have our skill words. You've written in there for short answer text. You've assigned the point value for 2. You go all the way down, most common words, same thing. For dictation sentence, I left this one up just to show you. Remember, you just type in what the sentence should be and then mark all other answers incorrect. And then you assign how many point values that it's worth. So then you have your 2 bonus questions. So when you administer this test, you would have your students virtually have their computers out and ready. You've emailed them this link, so they have it up and open and they're ready to go. You will give the word twice, they would say it back twice, and then they would write it. And I would have them write it on a piece of paper first so they can prove the word and then go back and enter the correct spelling on the form. Because giving them that extra step of proving the word is just going to help them much more with that spelling. And the scores are probably going to be better when they're proving it. I actually had a teacher who told me that she wasn't making her students prove the words at the beginning of the year. And she said, and then she started having them prove the words. And she said the scores went up significantly. So we want to make sure that that step is in place. So have your students prove it and then type it in. When you get to the dictation sentence, you would give the sentence twice, they would repeat it, and then they would just type in the dictation sentence right there as it should be. So after they've done that, your answers will automatically populate and you'll be able to look at the responses. So again, this is 54 points. We have our questions we've looked at. Now let's look at the responses. Let's see what happened. And when you open this up, you see that there were 5 responses, and then they're going to give you several options of things to look at. So if we look at the summary, the question, or the individual, let's start with the summary. So in the summary, you're going to see an average score, your median score, and the range. And the reason this range is so broad is because I haven't given the point values yet for the dictation sentence. So you're going to be able to look at that. You're also going to be able to look at what were the most frequently missed questions. And I see that skill word 7 was the most frequently missed word, as well as dictation sentences. So we're going to be able to look at those and kind of compare and see, was there a pattern? Do I need to go back and do Form B next week? Because you have that option. If Form A, they don't master the skill and you need to go back another week and stay on it, and you've got Form B, so you're ready to go. The next place says scores, and it's going to have the score of all the students out of 54. It says they're not released because I'm going to assign point value to the dictation sentences. But once I've completed that, I'm just going to come here and hit release scores, and the scores will automatically go to the students. So when we look at each question, we can see here as a summary, what is the percentage of correct answers? So when I look at skill 1, all of the students got skill 1 correct. We see 100%. When I get to skill word 3, the word was munch, and I see that 4 spelled it correctly and 1 spelled it incorrectly, and it's going to show you how that spelling was done. So you can look at each word and you can gather more information and just kind of just analyze that test, analyze the data. So we go through and we see where our mistakes were, where we may need to put our focus. When I look at skill word 7, remember that was the one that showed up at the top as frequently missed. I see the different spellings of the word. And I see that there was one spelling this way, one this, and 2 the correct way. So that kind of gives me a lot more information as a teacher of what's going on. What are they not hearing, or where are the mistakes that they're making happening? So you can go through and look at each word and the percentages. Same with most common words. Then when you get to dictation sentences, it's going to show you the sentence, and it's going to show you what the percent was that did that correctly. So you had 2 that spelled this sentence correctly. And then it's going to show you where the mistakes were. So let's look at the sentences here. This tells you the 5 responses that you have. And remember, I haven't graded all of the dictation sentences because I want to show you how to do that. They're right here, though. It's going to be exactly what each student typed in. Then you have your 2 bonus questions, and everyone got those. So that's just an item analysis. So you can kind of look at everything as a big picture. Or you can go to individual questions, and you can go through that 2 different ways. You could click here and go to whatever skill word you wanted to and look at the questions, or you could go one by one and look through it this way. So when you go through the questions, it will tell you 4 students spelled this word correctly, 1 student spelled this incorrectly. So you're going to see that 4 students got 2 out of 2 for this, and 1 student got 0 out of 2. So you can look at every question in more depth and understand where the mistakes are happening. This right here, whoops, I'm still accepting responses. This is where I meant to click. So on individual, when we look at the students, and we're going to look at this 1 student and look at her scores. Okay, so for each skill word that was completed correctly, you're going to see the points are automatically given. You don't have to do anything. They're there. So we go through and we see the first skill word that the student missed was deck, and this is how she spelled it, D-E-C. So she got 0 out of 2 points. I continue down and see she missed the next word, struck, and look, she spelled it the same way too. She left off the K. So I go down to the next word and I see it's happened again. She spelled lock, L-O-C, so she got 0 points. And number 9, P-I-C, and number 10, N-E-C, both left off the K. So this tells me this student has not mastered the C-K, spelling with a C-K. So I might want to send a message to her and say, maybe we need to meet. I could type my message in here and say, remember 1 syllable short vowel words. So all the time you're going to be spelling those with a C-K at the end. So if it's a short vowel, whatever feedback you feel is appropriate to give to the student, you can add it for each question. And then you just hit the button save. Okay? So, and then it'll say edits are pending at the bottom. So you want to make sure you hit that save button again so that all of the feedback that you're giving to students is recorded. So we go through and we look and see, okay, we know this student has really struggled with the CK. She's getting a lot of other things right, but let's look at the dictation sentence. So the sentence correct answer is, it is bad luck to land on a tack. So if we look at her answer, we're going to count up how many points that she's earned. Remember, your skill words are going to be worth 2 points. Your most common words are going to be worth 2 points. If they begin with a capital uppercase letter, it's going to be 1 point. And if we end it correctly with the correct punctuation, that's also a point. So what I see is she's missed luck and she's missed tack. So that's 4 points off. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to give her 7 points. And then I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to look at the next sentence and see how she did on that one. Okay, this one, we can prop up the tent with a stick. Again, she's missing that CK on the end. So she missed one word this time. So I'm going to give her 9 points because she missed one skill word. And then I'm going to save it. So now I'm through with her grading. And it's going to tell me at the top that she has 38 of 54 points. Remember, she missed a lot of those words. So this student may be one that I need to give Form B to next week. When I'm ready, I just hit release score. Individually, I can send it to her this way, or I can also go back to that summary at the beginning and look at it and just send them all at the same time, which might be a faster way to do it. One other thing I want to show you is how you can look at your responses in a spreadsheet. So I just click on that and I see every student and I see their score. Look, their scores are right here. And so there's your grade. It's done for you. You also can have more of that analysis of looking across, and you can look at all of the words together and see, okay, all of them got this right except this one student, and they had a reversal. Plus going through and looking at the sentences and the bonus questions. So this is where you could print this out for your own records so that you've got the test scored. This is an easy way to give a test and also to know it's going to grade it for you. And so I know with your busy schedules, this is a great way to give not just a spelling test, but maybe other tests as well. But that is the post test. So just remember, you make it how you want it to be, but this is one option of how I think is a very good way to assess your students while we're in this virtual world. But you could always do it in the classroom and have them do this if they all have their own computers. You could give the test, make the test once. Remember, the next time I would just make a copy of it, change it to week 7, add in my questions for week 7, and then send them here with the send button. When you push the send button, you can copy the link or you can just send them to emails. You can also customize your theme and do different backgrounds. So you can change it up each week. I hope that was helpful for you, and I will talk to you soon. Keep working hard, and thanks for your time.